Boys and girls, we are back again, and it's that time of the month, so new patch, new character. This time it's Trigger. I'm actually quite happy and quite excited about this release, mainly because I missed out on Lighter, and that was a big regret for me not having another stunner. So hopefully Trigger's gonna fill that spot for me and actually finish off the Soldier Zero team, which is gonna be really cool. It'll be nice to see just how much of an improvement she is with Soldier Zero. So that's going to be super exciting. Now, we are pretty stacked. We have a decent amount. If you've watched any of my other videos, realistically, this might not even be enough. But if we win our 50-50s and our 75-25s, we should be golden. I'm praying that we don't have to spend, but with my luck, I'm going to be suffering. So the plan is simple. One copy of her and then the Wengine. Same as always. Yeah, without further ado, let's get into it.
Here we go.
It looks like we are going to go all the way to soft pity. Let's just rip a temple. This one should be it. Wow. Wow. I rarely ever have to go above 80 pulls. This one's a feels bad. I'm gonna have to go singles from here. But if we win the 50-50, it's worth it. Okay, here we go. Ah. Okay. I'm feeling lucky. I'm feeling lucky with this one. I think this is the Dubski. Let's do this. I'm pretty sure I've lost more than I've ever won, and this is truly painful. Oh God. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't think this is gonna be enough to get everything we want. Man, this is rough. You know, it was one of those months where I thought, let me not spend too much on Gacha this time, but looks like ZZZ wants to beat my ass again. But we move, we keep going. Another $100 top up. I'm hoping it'll be enough, honestly. Oh man. It's like, is this why I do my 9 to 5? Just to do this? What is life, man? Oh boy. It is what it is, man. Don't even at me. Just, I don't want to hear it. I'm too depressed. Oh my God, I did it again. Oh, I was pulling on the character that whole time. I made the exact same mistake with my day. Oh, what am I doing, man? I swear I want to jump off my chair and just land on my own head. This is... This ain't even about content anymore. I'm just doing irreparable damage to my mental. The psychic damage from this is eating away at me, man. I've done this 2 times in a row now. I'm crazy. I'm losing my damn mind. If I lose this 50-50, it's all over for me, bro. It's all over. I'm doing it. Just don't do this to me, man. Blood pressure high right now. Okay. A little dubski. That's okay. Cool. Okay, we'll take that. And we've unintentionally built... We just built pity for the next character, so... we'll take that as kind of a win, I guess. And yeah, next time you see me pulling for the next character, you're gonna see this and be like, oh yeah, he'll surely get what he wants, but no, it's gonna take everything again. This is a vicious cycle, but we did it. We have her. Let's just quickly take a look. Yeah, I'm really excited about this one. Building her is going to be a little bit annoying because I do not have Shockstar Disco discs. I'm going to have to generate most of them. But yeah, hope you enjoyed my suffering, and I will catch you when the build is done in a bit. And we are back, boys and girls. I'm not going to lie, this time round, it was much easier than I had anticipated. Now, like I said before, I was going to go for 4-piece Shockstar Disco, but I had made the mistake of not farming any pieces, so I was expecting this to be quite painful, but luckily for me, it really wasn't. I ended up on an initial build where I had around 94% crit rate and around 90% crit damage. And most people, if you get that stat line, you're happy. You should be very, very happy. But me, the OCD got the better of me, and I decided I really needed to go over 100% crit damage. So I proceeded to dump a ton of resources unneedingly to get that number. We succeeded, but yeah, I definitely spent more than I needed to. But we're here, we're happy. Let's get into the build, shall we? Okay, here we are. Now, the main important stats. Top one is obviously going to be impact. She is a stunner at the end of the day. For 95% of people who are playing her as a stunner, impact is going to be your most important stat. But impact is one of those things where as long as you use an impact this 6, you're going to get to this number anyways, right? What we actually care about is the crit rate and, less importantly, the crit damage, but primarily the crit rate. Crit rate, it needs to be as close to 90%, if not 90% or above. Now, the way the discs roll in terms of crit rate, I don't think it's actually possible to get exactly 90%. You're either 1% below, like 89, or like I am, 1%, 1.4% above. So yeah, realistically, I would say if you are willing to sacrifice a little bit of stun, a little bit of crit rate to go down to like 85% but get a ton of crit damage, it potentially could be worth, but overall you want to get as close as possible to that 90%. And then from there, you're dumping stats into crit damage and, less importantly, attack. So I'm very happy with this, super close to 90%. And then I've gone over 100% crit damage, which I'm super happy about. Let's just quickly talk about skills. Obviously, you want to be maxing this core passive, like with every character. It gives a little bit of attack, but more importantly, base impact as well. The reason crit rate is so important is because of this. Increases the days dealt by the aftershocks, which is how she applies days. In terms of skills, the most important one is going to be basic attack, because aftershock damage when she does off-field damage is auto attack damage. So this is the most important. This is what is going to give you the highest multiplier for days, so you need to level this up. Everything else is kind of nice to have. Realistically, you could bring these up to maybe like level 10, and I probably will at some point, but yeah, everything else can kind of is less important essentially. And now we can talk about drive discs, the reason you guys are all here. So as you can see, I'm running 4-piece Shockstar Disco. It's the stunner 4-piece set. 6% impact, which is nice, and then more importantly, the 4-piece is pretty huge because this 20% more days to the main target, it applies to her off-build damage. So that's why it's so good. Now, In terms of other options, you can obviously try Shadow Harmony. Shadow Harmony is actually quite good if you're really struggling to get crit rate, just because it gives you quite a bit here. But the issue with this is that it doesn't really help her do her job as a stunner. So if you're gonna go DPS trigger, which is something you technically can do and kind of works right now at least, you're gonna run this set. But realistically, for 95% of people, you really want to be using Shockstar Disco. There's kind of no kind of leeway there. Let's talk about the two-piece. So, like I said, for 95% of people, especially if you don't get the Wengine, you're going to be using Woodpecker, right? That 8% crit is huge. It's 2 crit rolls for free. Most of the time, you're going to have to use this to get 90%. Getting 90% is actually quite difficult. Even with the Wengine, it's not the easiest thing. But if you're lucky enough and your rolls are really good, and perhaps you have the Wengine, you can actually afford to use Branch and Blade Song to get yourself some more crit damage. Now, this is obviously up to you. It depends on what stats you have, but at the end of the day, for 95% of people, you have to realize this is not a DPS character anyways, right? Her damage is not that important realistically, so yeah, just go Woodpecker for 90% of people. Okay, let's get into the actual discs, shall we? So, this disc is pretty insane. 3 rolls into crit, only 1 wasted stat. Attack is great as well. I really can't complain about this. This is a stupid piece. 4 rolls into crit rate, and this was the reason essentially I was able to run Branch and Blade Song. I just had enough crit rate because of this. Same thing here, a bunch of crit rate, crit damage. Honestly, these pieces are kind of crazy. Now, this was a crit piece that I had a while ago. I just leveled up, so I just picked this up. You know, no character was using it, so I thought I'd just use this. And yeah, it has exactly what we want, crit damage. The other stats are kind of dead, realistically. Attack would be better, but I'm not going to complain. The 5 slot, oh, and also, I mean, the 4 slot, I don't think there's ever going to be a situation where you're running crit damage unless somehow you've gotten like 5 rows of crit rate on every single other piece. Then maybe you could run crit damage, but even then I'm not sure. But yeah, it's going to be crit rate 99.9% of the time. Slot 5, it's electric damage every time. There's not really another option. You could say maybe attack, but realistically no, electric damage is going to be significantly better. Now, looking at this, it's kind of a really bad piece. You know, there's no crit damage, no rolls into crit rate. It's kind of a bad disc, and this is the one I could really improve. The two rolls into attack is not bad, and this 2.4 is actually what is putting me just 1% over, which is actually great. So if there's any room for improvement, it's definitely in this disc. And 6, you're running impact every time, unless you are going for a full DPS build. Impact is, you don't really have a choice. It's always going to be impact. This is decent. 2 rolls into crit rate. It would have been great if they rolled into crit damage. You know, I could easily go up to like 110, 115 crit damage, but yeah, I'm super happy with the build. She's a stunner, so I'm not really going to invest too much more into her, and I think this is more than enough. Okay, let's quickly talk about the Wengine. Now, this is following on with all of the other recent Wengines, signature Wengines. They're just really damn good. The main reason, well, there's 2 reasons actually. The first one is its advanced stat being crit rate is huge. 24%. If you're free to play and you don't have this Wengine, 24% crit rate is very difficult to essentially lose out on. This is not easy to come across. So the Wengine is very good. And this is not even accounting for the actual ability, which is a defense reduction, 25%. It's crazy. This is a crazy Wengine for a stunner. Now, if you're free to play, try to get that 24% crit to make up for this, but realistically it's going to be quite hard to actually get to 90% without this. Okay, let's talk about her Mindscapes. Now, Mindscape 1 is actually really good. It's actually one of the better Mindscape ones that we've seen in quite a while, actually. Essentially lets her use the off-field damage much more frequently, and then you get an additional stun damage multiplier as well, the one you get through your core passive. So it's really good. It's really good for your team. It's really good for her personal damage too. It's kind of insane. If you want to get this stop at Mindscape 1, it's actually really good. Mindscape 2, this is decent. It's actually great for your team as well. Gives your entire squad crit damage up to 4 times, which is, it's pretty damn good. It really is pretty damn good. But if I'm going to be 100% honest, I can't see myself getting Mindscapes over getting the Wengine. The Wengine is simply too good and too much value when compared to the Mindscapes. If you had to choose between Mindscape and Wengine, it's Wengine every time in this instance as well. You know, her other options really here are maybe Teapot. You know, she can use this quite well. But your actual free-to-play option, I think, is this one. This is your best free-to-play option, which none of these are giving crit rate. It's just going to make building her much more difficult. So, unfortunately, yeah, it's Wengine again for me. But if you can afford both, getting M1 is actually pretty nice. It's a pretty nice increase. So, let's finally just talk about team compositions. It's pretty simple. Everyone knows this. Her best teammate is going to be Soldier Zero Ambi, right? They are essentially built for each other. So these two in a team, and then you have Astra. No surprise there. This is the kind of standard team you can go with. And this is what most people are going to run. Now, like I said, there are options of running her as a single DPS and then using Astra and Nicole as like double support for Trigger. Other scenarios, you can obviously use Yanagi. You can obviously use Haramasa as well. It's up to you, but for me, this is the team I'm going to run, right? These three. Okay, and I think that pretty much wraps that up. Some final closing thoughts. I'm quite happy with her. I was really praying that she would be a good replacement for Lighter. I'm someone who didn't pull for Lighter, and I know quite a lot of other people didn't pull for Lighter. She is essentially that second stunner that I need, right? And she works so well with Soldier Zero, who I quite enjoy playing. So yeah, I have no complaints. She's great. Love her design, love the playstyle. Off-field damage is really strong, what can I say? But yeah, that's about it. If you enjoyed, please give this a like, a sub. I've got the showcase coming up, so stick around if you want to see that. And I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.